Last week, Mumbai Municipal Corporation gets appreciation from the apex court of the country for its management during the COVID crisis. And then the Mumbai model is become the talking point in the country. So what is this Mumbai model? What is the success story behind the Mumbai? So tell us about more about that. We have currently with us the additional commissioner of Mumbai Municipal Corporation, Mr. Suresh Kakani. Sir, welcome to ETV Bharat. And first of all, sir, congratulations for your achievements. Sir, last year when COVID pandemic hit our nation, there is a lack of resources, there is a lack of information regarding it. So, how you manage the first wave and how the Mumbai model is become the significant?
Yeah, during the first wave, the entire world was unaware how to tackle this COVID-19 pandemic situation. But in Mumbai, we learned a lot during the first wave, and we got to know, apart from the tracking, testing and treating, we also focused on what are the basic ingredients to tackle this pandemic situation or to take on this COVID-19 illness. So four factors are more important. First one is bed availability. Second one, bed with oxygen supply. Third one, ICU bed and ventilator. And fourth one, medicines. So we worked on all the four strategies, on all the four components. During the first wave itself, we started our program during the first wave itself. In the month of October, November, December, we used to get around 300 to 400 cases. That time, we got to know that yes, the second wave would be there by getting to know from the entire world and the other part of India. So we started our preparation from that point onwards. The first thing, we had around 7 jumbo facilities. Though the patients were coming down, though most of the beds were lying vacant, so there was also criticism that why are you continuing with this jumbo facility? You should dismantle it. But we deliberately decided not to dismantle it, but to continue with that, and that should be continued till 31st of March. Fortunately or unfortunately, in the last week of March, we started getting more number of cases, so we could make use of these beds, these jumbo facilities for admitting patients. The second thing, the oxygen supply, because during the first wave itself, we got to know that yes, oxygen would be a major challenging issue. That time, most of our hospitals were having a cylinder-based oxygen supply system. So, cylinder-based oxygen supply system, the challenges are refilling, the time of refilling, and most of the cylinders are placed inside the isolation room. How to allow the refilling guy to go in the isolation room, or that also require more manpower to bring out the cylinder from inside to the non-isolation zone area. And secondly, the losses used to be more in the cylinder-based system. So we decided, let us work on that. And we switched to the central oxygen supply system by setting up huge tanks of having 6,000 liter capacity to 13,000 liter capacity as per the requirement. So that also played a very crucial role, because these cylinders, these tanks, were connected with the pipeline, and that pipeline connected to each and every bed. So because of this, the stability of oxygen supply got restored. The losses got reduced by 20%, around 20% or more than 20%. And there was an assurance, the confidence building was also there. Yes, I have oxygen, and then there is no need to panic about. The fourth thing, we formalize all our ties with the manufacturer of the oxygen, medical oxygen I would say, and the supplier as well, because there are two layers are there. Manufacturer used to supply to the major facilities, and the distributors, wherever the cylinders are to be filled or small units are there, the distributor play a crucial role in oxygen supply.
Sir, in Mumbai, the main challenge was the slums like Dharavi, where social distancing is it's a big challenge. So how you manage the thing, because the Dharavi model has become the template now. So can you just brief about this?
Yes, Dharavi in Dharavi again, a multi-pronged strategy we have applied. shifting of the high risk contacts. If the patient is coming positive in the slum like Dharavi, the high risk contact number around 15, 20, sometimes more than 20. So shifting these persons to the quarantine facility, that was a major challenge, but we could do that. Then testing and treating of these patients, the positive patients and the high risk contact patient. That's the second thing we intervened in. We also have resorted to the house to house visit to take out the suspect patients from the slums or from the densely populated small tenements. The fourth thing, we also roped in the private practitioners working in Dharavi and in other slums as well, so that should also act as a partner of MCGM, so that in case any COVID symptom persons is noticed, they should indicate to us. For that, we provided free of cost the PPE kit, because getting PPE kit during the first round was major challenge. Then providing PPE kit free of cost, providing N95 masks, and providing other essential medicines to the general practitioner. That also helped us a lot to take care of this. And the supply lines, because locking down or declaring that slum as a containment zone is easier, but how to maintain supply lines like food, milk, groceries, everything. So wherever necessary, we provided cooked food. Wherever the family members are present in the house, we provided dry ration so that they can cook on their own. Milk supply, all other essentials we regulated there, and therefore the entire thing. Plus we also have roped in some NGOs, the state level NGOs or the local level NGOs. Because of the collective efforts, we could win over in the pandemic situation in Dharavi, and that becomes a model for other part of the world to follow.
Absolutely, sir. Second last question, sir, as a second wave you kept in mind, there is Sero study has been conducted. Just tell me about the Sero study.
Yeah, because during the first wave itself, we conducted one Sero survey, the first one. As per that Sero survey, around 10,000. We chose 3 wards. One ward was in city, in eastern suburb, and one was in western suburb. And in 3 wards, we collected the samples from the slums, as well as from the building, as well as from the buildings. And surprising for us, the slum population had got 57% of the slum population got the antibodies developed, and only 16% of the building occupiers could develop antibodies. So this provided a good relief for us, that yes, the slum dwellers are coming out of this illness, and definitely it would be good for them. In the second Sero survey, the same ratio was maintained, 45% in the slum and 18% in the buildings. But in the third Sero survey, which we have conducted just now, more than 40% slum dwellers are having antibodies, and only and close to 28% from the buildings could develop antibodies. So we are slowly moving towards you can say the herd immunity, though herd immunity is not achieved till date, but hopefully it would be achieved in the near future, and we are moving in that direction.
So my last question is, sir, keeping third wave in the mind, the government is planning to make a pediatric task force for COVID. So how BMC is planning accordingly?
Yeah, we in the third phase, as per the international evidences, we get to know that the third wave may hit the kids, the children. So therefore, immediately the government of Maharashtra constituted a task force, and we also have received some feedback from the task force that what should be the preparations. So for admitting the patient, for admitting the pediatric kids, for providing the necessary arrangement beside the kid about the parents, what type of medicines would be required, what equipments would be required. So all these things we have started preparation, and we are providing more than 500 beds to start with. This bed capacity can be increased subsequently, because we are developing to take on the third wave. We are developing 4 additional jumbo facilities. There we will be having the facility of the pediatric wards. Existing jumbo facilities, yes, there will also be used for pediatric kids to admit. Then the major hospitals, we have 4 major hospitals, that Sion, Nair, KM and Cooper. In each and every hospital, we have a ward for COVID positive would-be mothers, and for them, for the kids, newly born kids, we also have the pediatric ward for them. And some of the private hospitals, we may open some of the private hospitals to take care of the kids in case they get infected with this COVID. So the entire, we are focusing our strategy to provide adequate number of beds of all categories, to provide, to ramp up oxygen supply, to ramp up medicine, to ramp up the ICU beds, so that in case the number goes up, then we would be able to handle them. And of course, we are looking for the public for extending their support, and hopefully we'll get it. I would like to communicate through you that, I mean, even if we are getting vaccinated 2 doses, the 3 things are more important. Number 1, you should wear mask whenever you go out, when you're meeting with people. You should wash your hands at frequent intervals, and you should try to keep a social distance between the 2 persons, so that you would be safe, your family would be safe, and those persons who are coming into contact with you, those will also be safe, and it would be easier for all, not only for the Mumbai Municipal Corporation, but for all to win over on this COVID-19 pandemic situation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for talking with me, Bharat. That was Suresh Kakani, the Additional Commissioner of Mumbai Municipal Corporation, who is kind of confident enough that Mumbai will do in upcoming the 3rd wave of the pandemic. From Mumbai, my name is Kedar Shintre, with camera person Anil Nirmal, ETV Bharat.